Welcome back to the game number 2 on this December 30th, New Year's Eve, the Chick-Fil-A Peach Bowl, an old classic that everyone loves. And this time we've got a hell of a matchup between the Pitt Panthers and the Spartans of Michigan State. Michigan State currently 3.5-point favorites. 55.5, the over under. Big opt-outs in Kenneth Walker for Michigan State and Kenny Pickett for Pitt. A lot to talk about here. And I think we're going to be on the same side of this one again because we talked about it just recently. But go ahead and start us off.
You talked about the opt-outs. Obviously, that sucks, especially when it's a New Year's Six game like that. You would hope that all firepower is going to be on the field. But when I looked at the totals in this game, I love way over 55.5 in this game. Michigan State's pass defense, literally the worst in the country. Jordan Addison, probably the best wide receiver in the country, is playing. I saw Michigan State's wide receivers active for the game. I can't remember his name currently, but he's a stud too. I like points of flying, and I like Pitt outright. So I'm going to take them on the money line, and I see a lot of money is shifting towards Michigan State. So this is going to be one of those where I will place this bet shortly before game time, because when I woke up, Pitt was plus 129 on the money line, and I checked just now and they're plus 145. So I'm going to see if that going to continue to climb in my favor. And then I'm going to jump on Pitt and their backup quarterback, Patty the Daddy.
Yeah. Currently right now, 67% of the money on Michigan State, 33% on Pittsburgh. And we actually talked about this game a little bit prior to us getting on yesterday, and we pulled up some Nick Patty highlights, and my God, is this guy the real deal? I'm not sure. Shout out to Kenny Pickett for beating Nick Patty out for the starting job this year, because I think Patty's going to come in there and sling it. You talked about a very weak Michigan State secondary, and I think that's what we're going to see Patty Daddy do. I watched him in a couple games where he played against the 1AA schools that they played against, and then the spring game highlights. This guy can sling the football. Do not get me wrong. He loves rolling to the left as a right-handed quarterback, which is awesome. But he can sling it from anywhere. He throws sidearm passes like you see Patrick Mahomes do sometimes, just angling out weird body positions to get the ball out to around defenders. And I think he's going to have a hell of a day. I really, really do. And I'm with you there on the Pitt money line. I'll do Pitt plus the 3.5. The way the money's coming in, I would imagine we might get this thing up to 4.
Yeah. And, when you look at Pitt's schedule this season, the games they played, they're 11-2. They lost to Western Michigan and Miami by a combined 7 points. So if you're not thinking about taking them outright like we are, if you can get that thing at 4 points, that's probably a pretty safe bet there. They don't lose often. Well, they haven't lost often this season. When they do, it's not by more than 4.
I mean, if you look at the one common opponent that sticks out, it's going to be the Miami game. And obviously Michigan State played them early in the year, where I think Miami was not playing very well. They came on later on in the year and looked a lot better. And that's when they happened to play Pittsburgh.
You don't remember that Miami-Michigan State game where I said I'm taking Miami, but this would be the money line play of the day if I was to play that?
Yeah. Okay.
That was the Michigan State game.
And obviously, of course, the win over Michigan is going to be huge in the gamblers' eyes. But when you've seen them match up at Ohio State and just get the doors blown off of them, Kenneth Walker has accounted for 114 points this year for the Spartans. The next highest is Jaden Reed with 66. I mean, that's a big loss for them. And if we're going to talk high praises for Nick Patty, then I think you got a guy who substitutes in there, plays very well, and it maybe seems like Kenny Pickett's not gone, where the cornerstone of your offense will not be there. I think that's huge for them.
Yeah, I think Kenneth Walker being out is bigger for Michigan State than Kenny Pickett being out for Pitt is. Like we said, I mean, this Jordan Addison kid, looking at his numbers, 93 catches, 1,479 yards, and 17 TDs. You don't think he's going to want to go out there and have better tape against that defense than what those Michigan State receivers did? I mean, we remember like that Ohio State passing attack and what it did to him. Granted, Ohio State's passing attack is a whole nother beast. But when you got a kid, an NFL talent at wideout like that, what makes you think that he's not just going to feast on that secondary today?
Yeah, all Patty got to do put it in the right spot, or even generally close to the right spot, and he's going to have himself a day.
So yeah. I might same game parlay at Pitt money line and the over. Get a little juice out of it. Hopefully, it goes better than my North Carolina -10 and over parlay that I placed earlier today.
Yeah, a lot of money coming in on the under as well in this game. 56% of the bets and 77% of the money. That game opened up at 63.5. That over under. I'm not sure if that was prior to the Kenny Pickett and Walker opt-outs, but I would imagine that's why that money's coming in there. And I don't think they realize that Patty Daddy's on the other. That's, he's the understudy for Kenny Pickett, and he's about to go out there just like the Rock.
Well, and Michigan State having the worst secondary in all of college football, giving up all those passing yards. And it's not like Pitt's defense has been stand up and good this whole season either. Like, I'm very confused as to why so much money is coming in on the under. I see the logic behind the two NFL talents opting out, but still, I mean, the defenses aren't that good, and we still have plenty of production on both offenses that can put up points.
Well, I mean, even Pitt in their loss against Western Michigan, 44-41.
And that Miami was what, 38-34?
Yeah, and then their other loss against Virginia also went over 67, 48-38. So I like the under here or the over here as well. Let's a little fade the public action, especially if it's going to keep dropping that way. We'll see what we get here in a couple hours before kickoff. But same side again. Let's go Pitt. Pitt, the points, the money line, and the over.
Lots to unpack in this one. So just remember this video when Patty the Daddy's slinging it becomes the next Patrick Mahomes.